Are you looking for that secret formula, that secret sauce, that marketing strategy campaign that will deliver market qualified leads every single time at a low cost? Is that what you need? Is that what you want? If I got that for you, would you make feel complete? Well, I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to give you a marketing strategy that will give you guaranteed results. Do I need to repeat that? Guaranteed results. Sound too good to be true? Let's talk about that. Hello, my name is Bill Arnold. I am president of Prevail Marketing, and you may find us at prevailmarketing.com. And every single day, we give you a video with strategies, techniques, examples, things that you can do to build your business through better sales and marketing. How do we know these programs work? How do we know the information we've given you is valid, is true? Because they're programs that we've implemented for our own clients. They're programs we know have worked. We've built these programs over decades and decades of experience, but we run these programs more recently to help grow the business for our clients. So we know this. We have the receipts, and that's why we feel comfortable sharing them with you. And today, at the end of this session, I'm actually going to talk about a case study we haven't published yet, but it's a real life example of how effective using co-branded emails can be and why we say it is guaranteed. Now let's talk about that. First of all, let's talk about email marketing in general. Everybody knows that email marketing, if done properly, can be extremely effective in converting people down the sales pipeline, selling products, building relationships. The problem is emails have limitations because you have to know the person before you email them. You can't go buy a list from a third party, even though they offer them, and say, okay, I'm going to send this email out to a list of people I don't know, this commercial offer. You can't do that. That's called spam. And not only is that illegal, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work because if you get an email from someone you don't know, what are you going to do? Well, first off, the chances are it's not going to get past your spam filter. But let's say it does. Let's just give a leap of faith and it shows up on your regular inbox. You're probably not going to open it up. You don't trust it. You have no reason to believe these people. They don't know anything about them. So you're going to send it to spam. But let's just say, another leap of faith, you decide not to do that. You decided, this is intriguing. They've got a really interesting subject matter. I think I'll open it up. So let's just say you do open this up. Miracles and miracles happen. And you read the text and you think, well, they want me to click through to a landing page. I'm not going to do that. Not going to happen. And you leave it. Probably delete it. Never think of it again. Well, let's give another leap of faith. Okay? Because we're all about leaps of faith today, apparently. And you decide to click through. Now they want your contact information. They want you to download something or to take some action. You're probably not going to do that because you haven't built the trust. They haven't done enough steps to let you know that they're trustworthy, they're authentic, they're someone you ought to do business with. And honestly, that is why co-branded emails are so darn effective, because it alleviates all those problems. All of them are gone. Why? Let's talk about what a co-brand email is. A co-brand email is a marketing strategy where you, the advertiser, okay, leverage a relationship, leverage the width and breadth of someone's scope with their network, their email list, of the host party who sends out the email on your behalf. So they're sending out an email to people they would normally send emails out to. People who are expecting to get emails from them. They'd be surprised if they didn't. And the information they've always got from this host is quality information, so they have a good open rate. So you alleviate the first problem of being able to send it. The second problem of awareness, why should I open up an email from you? They know them. And third, that trust, that relationship that they built over time transfers to you. We're going to talk about how in a minute. But let's just talk about why leveraging works so well. I always tell clients, if you want to shorten your sales funnel, if you want to increase your cost, if you want to lower the cost per lead, you want to get more sales, find how to leverage someone else's time, energy, talent, relationships, and network. If you can find how to do that, you're going to leapfrog because they've already done all the steps except sold them that final thing. And you can take advantage of that. So why does it work? Well, Dr. Robert Cialdini. I mean, we've got a blog about them. We've done a video about them. I probably sold more books, Psychology of Influence, than any person alive because I've always give it to my clients. That's how effective it is. And there are laws of social proof that work and they're universal. Doesn't matter your gender, your race, your religion, your age. None of that matters. These are universal laws that work. And co-brand emails take advantage of three of those laws. The law of social proof. What's the law of social proof? We all have hectic lives. We all have a million things happening. We don't have time to sit and analyze and evaluate everything. So we take shortcuts. We rely upon other people's evaluation, their testimonials, their referrals, their recommendations as shortcuts. Well, if it worked for them, probably should work for me. I'll give it a shot. That's what Yelp is built on. That's what G2 Crowd and Capterra and Software Advice, that's what they're built on. The fact that other people rely upon a complete stranger's recommendations because it's social proof. It's a shortcut we all take to make decisions. Again, they rely upon the recommendation of the host sending out the email. The law of authority is another law. What is the law of authority? We're all pre-programmed to respect authority. People in the old days was dressed up in a police officer's uniform. A doctor's had a certain outfit. People wore, for lack of a better word, costumes that delineated who they were and why they're poor. In the military, they have uniforms. They've learned to respect these. And now, that law of authority not only goes to respected officials, but even influencers. They are all respected because they have a level of expertise that we have not bothered to try to gain yet, or are unable to gain. And we take, again, the fact that these experts are saying this is a good recommendation. Well, again, they did their homework. They know more than us about a subject matter. I'll rely upon them. That's what the law of authority is about. And again, these organizations that send out, the host organizations, tend to be things like publications, industry publications, or tend to be associations like, for example, American Bar Association for Lawyers, or the American Institute of Architects for Architects. These are organizations that are trusted by the professionals who belong to them. And so they send an email out. People are going to open it up because it comes from a trusted organization. They're authorities. That's why they open those emails up and trust what they say. Law of unity. The law of unity, basically, we all belong to tribes, whether we like it or not. And if someone in our tribe recommends something, we tend to take that as a level of expertise and knowledge, and we tend to do what they suggest. Again, if your lawyer suggested this, if a bar association suggested something, a lawyer's likely to take it if they're part of my tribe. So that is the behavioral science behind why co-brand emails work. They leverage the other person's broad scope of relationships, and they leverage the trust that they have built with those people over time. And it's that expanded reach that really makes it effective because they have a reach that you don't have. A typical email campaign could be 20, 30,000 emails. Most businesses, unless you're well established, do not have 20, 30,000 people to send an email to. I've done co-brand email campaigns with 250,000 members because they work. Imagine being able to reach out to people who are your target audience, who do not know you exist, and have a trusted friend say, hey, take a look at this. I think you could benefit from it. Wow, doesn't that sound powerful all by itself? It is. So let's talk about open rates. I mentioned one of the advantages of co-brand emails are open rates. Typically, I looked all over today to get the updated figure on what a average open rate is. And the most trusted, reliable source I found was HubSpot, which has said the average open rate across all industries is 39.98%. That's actually much more than I had seen in the past, but HubSpot's a trusted resource, so I'm going to go with that. But co-brand emails, based on our experience, based on the offers we get from associations or publications, the open rates can exceed 65%. Now, they may only promise 50%, but we've seen 65% actual performance open rates because they're a trusted source. So what does this mean? I always say that the only bottom line things are really return on investment. So when I talk about the ROI here, I talk about the fact that if you look at typical emails, the average ROI of email is 4,200%, which means that for every dollar you spend, you get $42 in return. Seem high? Not if you have a properly segmented email, targeted, all the stuff is built properly. We're going to get how to build email campaigns that get those kind of results. But for co-branded emails, it's much higher. We've actually had co-branded emails get there at double that. So we're going to talk about how you accomplish that. For the person, the host sending the email out, there's lots of advantages besides getting paid. They continue to have relevance. But it typically, an email campaign, a co-brand email campaign, costs anywhere between $5,000 to $8,000. And we're going to tell you how you get that to be guaranteed right now with a case study we use because it typifies the exact way we do this every single time. Prevail had a client who had a young company, not necessarily a startup, but they didn't have a big emailing list. And that was slowing them down, slowing their growth. And the first thing, well, let's buy a list. Can you buy it? I said, we won't do that. Sorry. Not going to happen. And it's not going to work for you. They're pretty angry about that, by the way. But I said, look, I've got a better solution. How much you're going to spend for that email list? They said, oh, about 4,000. I said, okay. I'll tell you what, for 5,000, I'll set up a co-branded email campaign with a trusted source. And we actually use their target audience were litigators, attorneys who were litigators specifically. And we used a major national association who had a sizable litigation section. It wasn't American Bar Association. It was another one of their competitors. And for $5,000, we said, look, we are going to send an email to 20,000 members, specifically to that litigation group. We're going to offer them to download a piece of quality content. When they download that quality content, we'll capture their name and contact information, and we'll be able to give it to you. And then you can nurture them. You can grow them. You can convert them to clients. So we went and talked to this association, and they said the average open rate that they got for the litigation group in particular was 53%. And the average click-through rate was 37%. Now those are important numbers you got to pay attention to. Because when we said that, they said, okay, that meant if you did that and you got 53% for the open, 37% click-through rate, that means the open rate, you got 10,600 people should open it, and that 3,922 of them actually should convert and click through and download that piece of content. And they said, yeah, that's right. I said, perfect. We'll do the campaign on one condition, and only one condition. What's that? That you guarantee those rates. What? You want us to guarantee those rates? Yes. What that means is if we do not get those results, the first run, you let us run it again until we get those results. That's fair. You advertised, you promoted that. And they did it. In fact, you're going to find that 95% of the time, co-brand email publication associations will do that. They have nothing really to lose because, what's another email going out? Not a big deal to them. So they said, sure, we'll do that. So great. If they would have done that and we got the results on the first one, a market qualified lead would have been at $1.27 as a cost per lead. Not bad, right? You take it. I take it. Not a bad cost per lead. We sent the first one out and it didn't get the results promised. No, it fell short. How short did it fall? The click-through rates were 38% instead of 53%. I'm sorry, the open rate. And the click-through rate was 32% instead of 37%. So instead of 3,922 market qualified leads, a client only got 2,432. A significant difference. So we went back to the association. They said, look, you guarantee the results? You didn't? They said, yeah, no problem. And we talked about it once. They said, probably sending the same thing out to the same group is probably not going to get you much more because they've already seen it and decided not to have it. Can you give us another piece of content? Payday. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. I now have another piece of content going out to the same group to build a more additional touch for those who saw the first one. But secondly, we now can really see which piece of content fared better. And believe me, the second piece of content did much, much better. The email was sent to 20,000 people, had an open rate of 61%. So that was 12,200. We promised 53, we got 61%. The click-through rate, I think they promised 38. We actually got 43. So the second round, we had 5,246 market qualified leads added to our customers' CRM. You combine that with the first round of effort, for the same cost, with that same $5,000, we didn't add another $5,000, but we could add the results together. My client got 7,678 market qualified leads at 65 cents per lead. That was amazing results because we got guarantees promised up front. And there's the key. You have to sit down and get them to guarantee the results. And I get 95% of the time, we always get guarantees. It's easy to offer those guarantees because it's just an extra email. So if this sounds like a program you'd like to try, and you should, tomorrow I'm going to walk through the best practices, the steps. How do you select the right partner to work with? How you negotiate that 95%? How you get all the other, what kind of material you need to share? What you do afterwards to convert them. Because why I think it's great, we got that many market qualified leads. Why I think it's great, the cost per lead is only 65 cents. That is not victory. That is not success. That is an intermediate KPI. I can't eat that. I can't buy something with that. I can only do that with sales. So we're going to talk about how you get there and how you move them down that list as well tomorrow. If this conversation was helpful, I ask one favor of you, just one. Like, follow, subscribe, comment, all of the above if you can. We'd like to grow this list. We'd like to see whether we're hitting home, finding people who actually feel value what we're doing. If you have any questions, we'd like to understand how you can implement a co-branded email program for yourself. Go to our website. We got lots of ways for you to contact us. We'll get back to you. We'll talk to you. We'll give you some recommendations of who, what industries, based on your industry, who you ought to be talking to. If you need help negotiating, we can do that as well. Need help implementing, we can do that as well. In any event, I want to thank you for your time. We appreciate you watching this. Until tomorrow, have a great night.